Meanwhile, Thea Lafond.
Lafond was in the gold medal position. She's been demoted by Leas Paredes Hernandez. Here she goes with her second attempt. That's big. Thea Lafond jumps her way miles into this pit. 15.01. Wow. Lifetime best, world leading mark. She's done it. She's technically very reliable. She's always good in a championship environment, and that's what you need. And this woman, Thea Lafond, today has produced the performance of her life, over 15 metres for the first time ever, just when it mattered.
My name is Thea Lafond, and I am the 2024 World Indoor Champion in Women's Triple Jump for Team Dominica.
How do you feel after obtaining the first international title at a World Championship for your country? What were your immediate thoughts hitting the sand after that massive leap?
I do think that I am just filled with pride. I think proud is what I keep coming back to. Every time I compete, I always try my best to make sure that Dominica looks good. And I think right now we look great. And I hope that Dominicans feel the same way too.
Was there any anticipation leading up to the World Indoor Athletics Championship?
Well, immediately after the jump, I got out of the pit and I looked at it and I was like, oh, that looks good. I didn't think it was 15 meters or beyond that at all. I thought it was a 14 high, but good enough to be in the realm of medal contention, right? I said top 3. That's a top 3 jump. And then I noticed it took a while to give me my number. I was like, oh, that's weird. But then I saw the green lights turn on. You know, I got my legal jump notification. And then when that 15:01 came on the screen, I screamed. And I felt so bad because there were hurdlers on the infield about to go. And I was like, I would hate to be in blocks and hear someone scream like that. But it was just so much joy just coursing through my body. It was amazing.
What does this victory mean to you and other aspiring athletes who look up to you?
Yeah, this is not my first, international event. I think this is, if we're counting championships, this might be at least 4, maybe 5, maybe 6 in the last 6 to 7 years in general. But this one, I felt very calm coming into it. And the night before I competed, I was heading to the gym to get a light workout in before competing the next morning. And on my way out, the last event on TV was the women's 60-meter final in which St. Lucia's Julian Alfred secured gold. And I remember just watching her and just seeing the wave of emotions, go through her eyes, her face, the tears welling up. And I just cried. And I was just so happy for her. I was happy for St. Lucia. And I remember texting my husband and coach, Aaron Gatson, that, I wanted that for Dominica. I wanted to feel that same way. I wanted the success for us. And I think verbatim I said, I hope to not disappoint because I want this so badly. And all he said was, you're up next. And he was right.
How do you feel? What is it like having accomplished this record for yourself and for your country?
Well, for other athletes, especially Dominican athletes, I hope this means that it's possible. Very often, it's very difficult to imagine yourself being the first person to do something. It's hard to even know it's possible until you see someone else do it. So for the other athletes of our country, it is possible. I have done it. And I want you guys to, make sure that I'm not the last one to do it. I truly believe in our young athletes, and I want to be a source of inspiration, motivation, and also a resource for them to compete and complete, their goals. For me, this is a dream come true. I think I'm in a state of just serenity. It's just peace, like an exhale, finally. We did it. But it's also just a true source of just overwhelming joy. all the hard work is paying off. To watch everyone celebrate with me is the best thing ever. And this is truly momentous.
Can you recount some of your recent accomplishments, both in tournament and personal, that indicated you were making serious strides in your discipline?
I think one of the greatest indications, at least coming into this year, was that I only competed twice before World Indoor Champs. And both times I competed with only 14 steps. My full approach is 16, and normally we wait to debut the 16 step for outdoors. After, I believe last year, I spoke to Aaron. I said, I think we need to just do full approach all year, championship-wise at least. And so to be able to be jumping 1460 behind the board at previous competition and only going from 16 steps, I think we knew that we were in a really, really good place. My numbers in the weight room are great. I've been really fast and bouncy at practice. So I look to be in good shape. All indications showed that we were ready for something special. But we also knew that 15 meters had been in me for a while, and we just were finally happy for it to be shown.
Can you highlight your journey and growth in the field of athletics?
Well, starting from my youth days, I'm a multi-time Carifta medalist. From my high school days, I am a state champion in 4 events in the state of Maryland, and a national champion in high school also in the triple jump. I am a multi-time medalist in the conference of the ACC and Big Ten collegiately, and I'm an NCAA All-American in high jump, actually, not triple, believe it or not. I am a 2-time medalist in the Commonwealth Games, a Olympic finalist, multiple-time World Championships finalist, and a World Indoor Champion.
What inspired you to choose triple jump as a sporting discipline?
So when I graduated university, I was actually a very good multi, and I thought that I would continue down that path, only for me to turn up to multi practices and to just hate it. And I realized that I could not continue going to practice day in and day out and truly not enjoying at least one bit of what I was training for. And then I spoke to my high jump coach from college, Frank Costello, and he told me that while I was a very good multi, he thought that I had a greater chance of expanding my success in triple jump. He was like, there's something special there. I think you should seek it out. I also had a conversation with Jack Pierce, who's an Olympic silver medalist, bronze medalist, I believe, for USA as a hurdler. And we talked about, just goal setting and what I needed, discipline-wise and coaching-wise. And I decided that switching to triple was the best choice for me. So that's kind of how I made my final decision. And I'd like to think it was a good decision. And so that was what was truly the catalyst for that change.
Can you provide us some insight into preparation for the World Indoor Athletics Championship and what a typical day is like for Thea Lafond Gadsden?
It's a good question. So coming into the competition was a little different. We did taper a bit, so maybe less workouts, but my typical week of the training is quite stacked. I am on the track 4 days a week. That includes the sand pit. Twice a week I'm jumping. Twice a week I'm doing speed training. There's always a bit of jump elements everywhere. I am lifting 4 times a week. My only full day of rest is Sunday. So 6 days a week, I am doing something. And we did, ease off a little bit to give my body some rest, a couple extra days more of rest leading into World Champs. And I also lightened my lift quite a bit. But that is it. I wake up, my typical day is I wake up, I lift. About 6 to 7 hours later, I'm on the track. And I do that about 3 or 4 times a week. So quite stacked, but very worth it.
How has the transition as a full-time athlete impacted your growth?
It was tough before. It really was. I used to be a teacher. I would wake up at 5:30. I would go and lift in my building and then be in my classroom at around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, teach until around 2:30 and be on the track by around 3 to 3:15 for my workout. Sometimes I'd get home well after, 7:30, 8, 9 o'clock. And I would, prep my meal for the next day and get ready to do it all over again. And it was definitely tough. I remember being, even in Tokyo, I was the only one, I believe, that was like, I had a full job and also training. And, I made the Olympic finals. And the support that I received from the DOC under Billy Doctrove and the DAA under Brendan Williams really allowed me to just, leave teaching and just focus on track and field. And since we did that, those last, 3 years, things have just been developing very rapidly in a positive direction. And just having the ability to just rest sometimes or not have to worry about working to just kind of make things, financially secure for myself and travel has been amazing. And it's also just blossomed into amazing support from, the government in itself. A major shout out to our Prime Minister for his lovely posts over the weekend about what I've been doing. I truly appreciate it, and to watch the country rally behind it has been amazing. But even on a personal side of things, my parents that are always praying and supporting me, my friends and family that have been shoulders to lean on outside of the sport, which has been a great break for me. I'm so grateful. And of course, my amazing training partners, Jordan Scott, Daniela De La Fosse, Katora Orchi, and now Amani Oliver, and my lovely husband and coach, Aaron Gadsden. I mean, these people never let me get comfortable. And I think that's so special. It's easy to come in sometimes and just be like, oh, I don't really feel it today. But they never let me, and they always, push me to be great.
How has your country inspired and supported you in pursuit of your dream?
I think that I kept seeing people from our country do amazing things. And I thought, why not me? One of the closest people that I most recently lost and our nation lost was Dr. Carissa Etienne. And watching her just travel and just be respected and be held at such a great regard was truly an inspiration to me. In the last month, before she tragically passed away, I actually ended up spending a lot of time with her. She lives actually just 7 minutes down the street, but lived down the street from us. And I spent maybe 4 or 5 days a week at her home. And just listening to her stories and just really bonding with her, I kind of felt like, wow, like, if she did all this, I can do this too, like I can jump in sand and make us look good because of all the amazing things she's also accomplished. And I've known, amazing doctors, lawyers, engineers that have come from our island. And so when I look at what this tiny nation is producing, to me, the majority of it is greatness. And so when I hold myself to a standard, it's to the standard of which I've been raised around, which is a level of excellence that is amazing. And so, I'm grateful to have such accolades under our flag. And I'm happy to add my own accolade to that long list.
After this outstanding performance, what is next for you as an athlete?
Well, what's next primarily is rest. I do get to take a week off, and I'm looking forward to it. This will make moments like this to talk to reporters, to take interviews, and also just to respond to when I say thousands of messages I have received. I did the math. I think I'm at over 4,000 notifications across social media right now. And I think that we'll come back and we'll start planning for our outdoor season and gearing up to really take on this big event. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's happening in Paris this summer. And just making sure that, that there are jumps set up to be farther than that 1501 that we just did on Sunday.
What is your final word of advice for the youth and viewers?
My final word of advice to anyone listening in general is just please be brave. Just be courageous. Do something outside of your comfort zone. It's okay to just just go for it. Just take a jump, that first leap. You never know where you're going to end up. There are people set up there on island, ready and willing to help you achieve those goals and aspirations. So for me, please be brave. To my support team, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I don't think words even like suffice the amount of thanks I would like to give from my friends, family, stateside, in Dominica, abroad. Thank you for just believing in me, even when I didn't necessarily believe in myself. And to my country, thank you. It is always, like I say, an honor, a privilege, and truly a blessing to be Dominican. Thank you.